First of all,
Do we have
Bob,
Q&A? Do we have Q&A afterwards?
yeah,
Okay.
and
Q&A.
first of all, I wrote some articles here that you guys, we have to go with this one, and then we can share some of your ideas of how we're going to deal with this scam, this phone scam. But before we get started, I need to update people about me and Bob. Bob and I, decided to get our cybersecurity for seniors based in Las Vegas. And we had our ribbon cutting with the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce last March 28th. And you can see our videos on our website. And now, our goal right now in Las Vegas is that we are really have given a red carpet because many people felt that we got to do this because there are so many seniors moving in Las Vegas. There are 2 million population in Clark County, and there's about
Really?
yeah, and about 12% are senior citizens. So there are many seniors moving from California to Las Vegas because it's a lot cheaper. So we get a good during our ribbon cutting last March 28th with the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce. Many people had mentioned to us that Las Vegas is a place to be because it's a lot cheaper, which is true.
You mean you're thinking of moving there, or what?
Well, we're gonna go try to create our cybersecurity base there because it's a lot cheaper there. But the thing is that there's someone asked me, Randy, why don't you create videos for seniors to watch?
Yes.
So we decided, so I contacted the Nevada film community and they, oh my God, this was something. So we decided to moving a project with it's about awareness, right? So the Nevada, we never get this reception in San Francisco. We just don't get it here. Anyway, a director of Nevada Film, he said that, Randy, what you're doing is really great. There's a potential, it's really true, that many seniors need to be educated, that you can use film and videos and share the videos to them, to watch it at their home, at their community, everything. So, next week we're going to Las Vegas, me and Bob, and we decided we're going to go launch our historic Cybersecurity for Seniors Film Festival. And the thing is that we're going to go try if we can do it here, but it's really hard to do this thing because, for example, the article we're going to go read today, this can be a short film or a feature film or whatnot. So I think that we're going to move forward. I think that we're very excited about doing that, and we're going to have a film festival. We're going to have a film series. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. But it's a lot easier for seniors to have, to have videos.
Is there a central place in Las Vegas where you do this?
Yes, we're going to find out because the Nevada Film, they really likes what we're doing. And I think there are several, film tax is so comfortable there. And they're so friendly, with taxation and everything. So there are several things that, but I'm going to meet the director of the Nevada Film in the next couple of weeks and give me more information. But at that time, at that day, I already made up my mind, we're going to a cybersecurity film festival. And then the time that we're going to have, if we can't have it in San Francisco, maybe next year, the goal right now is that we get all this film community to start thinking, to start going to the internet and create film, short film, and then we got to have an advisor, a cybersecurity professional, and I'm a member of that too, and in Las Vegas, because we can start doing film, doing a research, There's several ways to do that. There's sometimes right, you got sometimes a film international film festival. And the genre, there's no cybersecurity genre.
Have you consulted with the police department? Because we had an expert come and talk to our retired group who came out of the police department. He's now the mayor of Daly City, but he is a retired police officer, and he provides classes in cybersecurity all the time.
That's awesome. That's
And it goes around to the community. And there are several police officers who do
I would
that.
love to meet with them because we get to base this video, this film. That the film, one thing that they have to be required that we cannot support a film without acknowledgement, without approval by a cybersecurity professional that are
Yes.
licensed.
Yeah.
And by law enforcement, make sure it's real. The story is real. The story here is real. So we're gonna go read that, and we're gonna share the ideas with you. Anyway, I'm into that.
Is this the address for the Las Vegas event? What is the?
Well, I think that that's all. That's
This is your
this is our
company.
website, yeah.
Yeah, it's your
But we're
website.
going to change that link event to film festivals. So there's a film festivals link on our website. I think those are better.
I think there are a couple things, and I haven't looked at all of these, I just glanced. But what occurs to me is kind of, I want to say, there's several different aspects to cybersecurity. One is all of these phone calls that people get, either from the IRS or for someone claiming they have their grandkid or their kid or whatever, or a friend or whatever. There's that kind of telephone call, and very often it's made to seniors who do not go on the internet,
Exactly,
who do not
yes.
have email, right, and are in a limited community, and so your outreach needs to be very community-based, perhaps through churches and other senior organizations to reach those who aren't tied into the internet. And then there are those who actually don't know how to use their cell phones or their cellular phones or whatever they have. And what they don't realize is how their information is stolen from them. And one of the things that Glenn Sylvester did was he set up his laptop to show us how, as he walked by, the information from his credit card was stolen and showed up on the computer. And how he then, what he did to prevent that information, so that people don't realize when you're sitting in a restaurant, you're in the supermarket, you're on the street, wherever you are, someone can walk by you and with their phone pick up your personal information off of your credit cards, off of your debit cards, off of your telephone. And so I think there's that other side where people have electronic stuff and they don't know how it's used against them, and they really don't know how to protect their personal money and information, and their identity is stolen, and their credit cards and all of that. So I think there's a couple of aspects, and I think you'll have, I know there's a big, huge community in Vegas, and if you reach out within that community, because you have to get to the people who aren't connected
Here's
electronically.
the thing.
Right.
I have some what about the Chamber of Commerce made a suggestion that the Chamber of Commerce, and I talked to someone there, and she said, Randy, seniors are spread out,
Yes,
and their number are growing, so it's really hard for us to bring them together into one.
yeah.
So the film festival came out to our mind. A film festival and film series. And I think if we could do it really good in Vegas, we can come to San Francisco and say, let's just go watch video. And, let's just have a forum video series and watch it, And because it's really hard to for example, for me, there are some people. I met some people say, "Randy, I can do this. I can give a presentation like what you're doing in Las Vegas, but it's really hard for us." I contacted private library, I contacted senior centers. They're all spread out.
Yeah.
And then secondly, what I understand about seniors, that many seniors, it's hard to reach because sometimes they don't go anywhere. They don't go to the library, they don't, and then they don't go anywhere. So how can-
You're right, they either have no life or they wait for just their children to call
Exactly.
them. And they're very isolated,
it's so that,
insulated.
and so that's why it came out to me when I was chatting with you.
You need somebody to do your publicity.
When it also makes me think about Las Vegas, which the hotel workers are very, very unionized. That's why there's so many national conventions of unions in
And we're
Las
gonna
Vegas. I wonder if they have the hotel people have retiree
I'm
groups.
sure they do. I'm sure we do. We would love to have. We would love to
Right.
have a
Good
film
idea.
series at various union group and everything. We would like to do that. But for the time being, because Bobby and I were going to Vegas for a long time again. But we'll be back in June. When is that we got to set the Nevada film. It took me about 3 weeks. Just 3 weeks. I said, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what we're gonna have. We're gonna go ahead and go and do a film series. We're gonna go ahead and register cybersecurity for Seniors Film Festival. And it will take time. It is so
And
difficult.
you have to get the publicity out. Because
We don't have that.
there's, Vegas is like two different
We
worlds.
have a good publicity.
There's the strip and the hotels, and there's that community.
Yeah.
Right.
And then there's the town of Las Vegas. And the town of Las Vegas is also very racially divided.
And another thing
And
that's
so if you're
Oh,
trying,
And
That's
the-
right,
The
the,
strip, the strip's not in Las Vegas, it's in what's called Paradise, Nevada.
Right.
So I think they. go
well,
on different set of rules.
yeah, it's like, that's why you have the town of Las Vegas that is a very different world with
Right.
residents
one
and
thing.
people, and most of those people work in the strip area, but they live in a community, and the retirees and everybody very separated. That's a big challenge, Randy.
Yeah, I think
And
the
I think that the reason that the unions are so successful in Las Vegas, like the hotel workers group compared to say San Francisco, is because if one of those huge casinos has a strike even for a week.
Claire, I'm
they're
gonna
probably
do-
about
what
10,
I'm gonna
20
do-
million bucks.
Well, we all went and picketed.
what I'm
so-
gonna do, try doing this after we come back from Vegas. We'll be
Yeah.
back on June 3rd. We'll be next month. And so I'm gonna go try to contact the film community here
Yeah.
and get be a member of their whatever.
No, you think you'll get help from here?
If I can, maybe not. I don't think so either.
They're
You know,
sort of into different things.
The only thing I'll tell you is what I perceive, and I could be very wrong, but what I've noticed in the film community, there was a time when you would have had a direct labor input into the film commission. But Mr. Eichmann and his daughter are deceased. And every appointee since then is a political appointee through the mayor or through somebody's friend of the mayor, Wendy Casper, we don't mention names. And I believe, this is my perception, that it is too politicized and it is too focused right here. I think your best bet is to look at the film group in Vegas. I think it could be worth it to perhaps look at the Labor Council, whatever help you can get from the Labor Council in Las Vegas, probably a central Labor Council, because I'm sure it's much more encompassing, where San Francisco is just the Labor Council. But I think theirs is much more like Alameda and the rest of them, because it's spread out, a lot of small towns.
There's a union for filming.
And there's a union, and I
It's not like,
think,
they have a meeting.
use your labor connections and work through them. And I think you'll get more support
over there than here.
and interest. Yes, no, I'm very serious. Because here, these guys don't care about Vegas,
Yeah.
all right? They really don't, and the politics is in City Hall.
So I'm really stunned when I pitched my project to the Nevada film, and he said, "Woo!" I showed the video about. I made a little video talking about. I said, "Wow, this is." And he sent me an email about. I should share you guys the email from the director. And he said, "Wow, this is something. There's a potential here."
A huge potential.
But the thing is, for the time right now, when we come back to Vegas next week, the whole, well, we'll be there for a while but we'll be back on June 3rd, I promise. And is that I'm not going to just meet the film community.
Are you gonna use stories like this as
It's
the
just an
basis of the
example.
script?
Yeah.
Yeah, for example, yes. There's just so many stories there.
There are many, many stories, and the only time.
My website, if you go to our
Yeah.
website, click Seniors Fraud link, there's a lot of stories there that you can.
The only time you hear about this is when something hits the news. It's a slow news day, and the local news stations will say, by the way, the IRS will never call you, or Finney on your side will say, the state won't call you and the feds won't call you, and they'll do something related to that. But otherwise,
I was gonna ask him a question about Las Vegas.
otherwise they don't, you don't get the publicity that goes far and wide. And those people who are sitting home, my guess is that, oh, there he is, fine.
I heard.
They will watch the news,
Oh, thank you.
so they'll pick it up on the news, but they're not going out. And so what you need to look at also getting that assistance and publicity on the news. And I think going through the union and going through the Labor Council there and using the labor connections, plus you've got the Chamber of Commerce,
Yes.
Randy.
So,
Randy, you're at the top.
I know.
Right.
And
Vern is
during-
just coming in, but what Randy is telling us is that he's gone to Las Vegas to pitch a very creative endeavor, which is doing education on cybersecurity for seniors through film, and that the Las Vegas film people are interested
Chamber of Commerce.
and Chamber of Commerce are interested in
Remember.
helping, and then they're on their way up to do some more work on developing the.
We're gonna do that because we felt
Isn't that
like
amazing?
the only way to
Well,
reach out the
that's actually
seniors.
good.
I think that's it. And a lot of it is very, very local. I know a lot of people here who have family in Las Vegas,
Oh yeah.
such as the Courtneys and some others. And so what you'll find is there's a connection, but it won't necessarily help you a lot. I'd say work with those people in
Oh
Las
yes,
Vegas.
we're putting together our support there because I'm also a member of the cybersecurity community in Las Vegas, and we get a lot of cybersecurity conferences just about every month. And
Really?
We have, like, for example, in July, Bob and I are going to the largest cybersecurity conference in Las Vegas that has 30,000, and that's only one conference.
You need to get a
That's
lot of
fine.
publicity out, and the
Yeah.
publicity out more, because I don't think any of us have heard of this.
We're gonna do that. We'll give us some.
Because, for example, I can put that information out to the people that I represent who are retirees.
I would like
But
to.
we don't
meet
hear
them.
about it, we don't put it out.
Right.
Okay, guys, can we read this one, Claire? Does anyone wanna read this? Just half of it, whatever?
Can I
Quick, because I'm
mention?
gonna leave in a minute.
I want to mention
This is
that.
fantastic.
Now, what's happened, a lot of police departments, law enforcement around the country, they cut back, so
Claire, I would like
economic
to talk to your
considerations,
union,
but
please.
then, I think that's part of the reason that technology is taking over, even in police departments, law enforcement. Because the more you can use technology, a lot of times if you're a law enforcement officer, you need, but that's a kind of misnomer because all trained right now. But unfortunately, these cybersecurity criminals and others, a lot of them are up to date on the latest technological techniques too. And I know it's here in this paper, one
They're
thing.
ahead of us.
Right, and
Okay, guys.
I want to point out, Randy, I want to point out one thing here. There's one thing when you call up the ULO, you try to play your daughter or son, is in a jail in Mexico, right? But when they call up and you maybe don't have many friends or that many anymore, and they say, we're gonna kill your daughter unless you pay up like $1,000 right now. What do you do? I mean, you can call 911, and some people do
Can you read this?
They put the onus on you, that we need the money now. And a lot of people,
Seniors who are isolated,
Right.
everybody tends to be afraid, and when you mention their
Yeah.
grandson or their daughter or their son, or whatever, they're very terrified, and or even friends. I have friends who
Right.
here's a woman who is a librarian, a professional, and she got an email from a mutual friend of ours. And she actually thought that the woman was stuck in some foreign country and needed her help, until her husband said, "What? That is the oldest trick in the book. What do you?" And she said, but Linda called it that, and it's like, no. And I said, we all got that stupid, we all got hacked, and it's crap. And you need to understand this is a typical story. And what you do is you delete from your system and you hang up on these people, because none of this is true. You hang up, or you say, what number can I call you back? Because I'm gonna call my son right now. Or I'm calling the cops or whatever. You tell them, so there's I know, you know the tools to give them to stop this, but the isolated community, when these little old people are sitting there and all they're doing all day is watching TV and, weeding their garden, they actually have no concept of what's going on in the rest of the world.
right,
And they have no idea that this is BS. And they immediately panic and they'll do anything for them, and they don't realize they're being taken to the cleaners.
Well, also, two things that happened to me. Once I got the lovely email, somebody wants you dead.
Oh, yeah.
So I took it down to the police station so that they could put a tracer on it. The second one, and this crept up on me twice last week. Your system will cease to function unless you contact this number. And it
Oh, they
goes
do
up
that
there.
all the time.
And they
Delete
go
them all.
into the name of Microsoft. So you know what I did? I shut down my computer and restarted it.
Oh, you don't even have to, just delete them.
Well, I did it to be absolutely.
No, I get those all the time, and I get them on my phone. I delete them and then delete them from the junk file, and that's it, and the delete file. And that's it. You just get rid of them. They will constantly come through. And it makes you look like, and they'll say, oh, check your bank balance. And the minute they start asking you for your country of origin and your date of birth, it's a hack. First of all, none of those people contact you that way. And that's part of it. And I think you know all that. You have to tell them. But
Okay,
Randy wants to do his program for us.
Yeah.
Okay, someone need to read from Tampa to the Tampa. Who wanna read that?
From Tampa to,
Tampa, before the related. We can read that.
oh, before related,
Yeah.
Karen? Well, I guess I could start off.
Okay, go Bobby.
Kidnapping scam claims multiple victims. It's a phone scam that leaves people shaken and scared, and there are more victims. This week, a Tampa woman told us how her son, who's in college out of state, got a call saying she'd been kidnapped and would be killed if he didn't pay up. And so he did. Now a Tampa father tells us about a similar call, only this time the scammer threatened his daughter's life. It seemed like a problem that could be more widespread than originally thought. When Fox 13 posted the story on Facebook Wednesday, several Bay Area residents said they got the same terrifying call. The similarities, 2 victims and 2 very similar nightmares, shows this could be an organized group targeting Tampa.
Okay, who wanna read from Kelly to told us.
Kelly O'Brien's son Sam was scammed out of $250 Saturday after being told the money would save his kidnapped mother. They said, if you get off the phone, we're going to hurt her. We're going to kill her, O'Brien told us.
So who wanna read from just to, oh, it's a long article. Okay, can you, Claire wanna read?
Related stories, multiple stabbed at each,
No, not that.
or just the day prior?
Just a day prior, yes.
Steve Iglesias got a call that his 23-year-old daughter Stephanie was being held hostage. He recalled a similar script from the scammers. If you hang up the phone, we're gonna kill her, we have a gun to her head, Iglesias told us. But this time, the caller claimed Iglesias' daughter hit his nephew with her car. They claimed they were holding her hostage so she would not call police officers because they were wanted men. They demanded $1,000 to get medical help for the injured boy. You know, it's amazing what people will believe. They watch too much TV. I was like, please tell me where you're at and I'll come there. Let my daughter and your nephew out on the side of the road, Iglesias recalled telling the supposed kidnappers. He said in that moment the threat felt very real. In both cases, the caller ID showed an 813 area code. Despite being warned not to hang up after 5 minutes, Iglesias took a chance and called 911. The 911 call, Iglesias. Some guy just called me and said that he has my daughter hostage and he wants $1,000. Dispatcher, have you called your daughter? Iglesias. He won't let me talk to her. Dumb shit. He said that he got the number from her. The dispatcher told Iglesias to call Stephanie, and when he did, she answered she was fine. Tampa police suspect the scammers are finding phone numbers online and using spoofing apps to call their victims. You can get internet-based telephone numbers and put in whatever area code that you want to choose, Tampa Police Department's Eddie Durkin said. And getting personal information, like family members' names, just takes a quick search on social media if you're not careful. Facebook. If you want to be a little more secure, then keep some of your stuff private, Durkin suggested. Police say in the Iglesias case, he did the right thing by staying calm and finding a way to call 911. They said you should also ask to speak to your relative. Victims can stop by to file a report with a detective, but with spoof numbers, police say it's nearly impossible to catch these scammers, which is true.
That's it.
Well,
Yeah.
Nicely put together.
This is a
Randy.
very nice script. Very good, Randy.
So this is just an example, they can be filmed. They can people shoot a short film of this,
Yeah.
story about family and other things.
Well, you can show people too, like some people still have landlines. So you can show if the call came through on their landline or on their cell phone, they can use the other phone to call 911.
That's right.
Or how they shouldn't be afraid to hang up. They should never be afraid to hang up because the call is bogus. And they should call, here was the dispatcher who said, did you speak to your daughter? It didn't occur to him to call his daughter. Well, they wouldn't let me talk to her. Well, you're believing their bullshit that they have her. Call your daughter. Every time someone calls their daughter, their son, where's my grandson? Well, he's right here. Where's my grandson? I just saw him this morning. Where's my granddaughter? All of those people are fine. And if you call the person, even when you get the email, you call that person and say, I just got an email that you're in Nigeria. Really? I've been sitting here,
Right.
whatever, having coffee down down on 24th Street. It's like, okay. So all of these, I think you have a big uphill climb, but I think you need to get more publicity
Oh, we're gonna have that.
everywhere, because I think this
And
is
I
a
think that-
fantastic
I would
project.
love to get presentation by our union group, you senior school, I would like to do that.
Yeah.
Well, our problem is finding the retirees and finding the seniors in the unions.
That's fine.
We're just not here.
I want to mention one thing too, and based on the script. Normally when people call you about something that's serious, like your daughter's being injured or what kidnapped, hello, this is the Tampa Police Department, and then they'll put your name, what's your name, or I'm officer or whatever, right? So they'll identify themselves. When
They
they're not-
will. And the other thing is
Uh-huh.
that you never take their number to call back. You call, like when the bank called me about my dad. I said, thank you, hung up, and I went and called the bank branch on my own
Uh-huh.
and got to that staff person
Oh, wow.
and said, did you call? And she said, yes. But I called the bank,
Right.
not the number she did. So they'll give you a number. But the other thing is, most of the time when these things happen, you'll have a police officer at your door. you will have someone who is not gonna be on the phone.
Right.
They're gonna come and approach you personally, and
Just
they
like
will
the
show you an
IRS.
ID. But you also have to be careful, because we've had some people come around lately and they say they're with this or that. I go, well, I'm looking for the Comcast truck, I'm looking for the PG&E truck, I'm looking for, the city
Oh, I see.
car, whatever. Now, I used to run a bunch of guys that used their own cars to go out for sewer service,
Uh-huh.
but they had full ID, and they had to fully identify themselves into the car. That's the other thing seniors have to do, and while they're busy at the front door, someone can be going around the back, depending where they live. In the city, it's hard, but down the peninsula where my friend lives, I'm meeting a guy in the front yard, and his buddy is hopping over her backyard fence, coming around the front. He'd been in the backyard.
So some of this isn't cyber, it's just trickery.
It's trickery.
Yeah.
What was her?
Well, two things. One is that is to see if you're familiar with the person's email. Like, for instance, they'll say like, oh, I'm your buddy Duke, but somehow the email doesn't match, on top.
Or a misspelling.
Or the misspelling. And so that's the other thing. And the one real story I have.
And they steal names that you will find in your, or be very close to, or even exactly the names that are in your email, address book or whatever.
Yeah, the other thing is that I got the weirdest call at 7 o'clock in the evening about my B of A account. And the woman on it sounded like she had just been released from jail the day before. I mean, she had that, that tone when she was talking. She must have been related to some gang member. Now, what I should have asked her is, I have a question to ask you, a very sensitive one. Have you done time? I told that to Glenn Sylvester, and he cracked up.
Yeah, well, and Glenn Sylvester is a retired police officer. He is now the mayor of Daly City, but
Right.
he is the president of the Veterans Police Officers in San Francisco. And he has given us several classes already on cybercrime at our retiree group.
He's the
And
one you
so,
mentioned earlier, right?
yeah, there are, and he's only one of several who do this. And, Project Safe, there's a number of groups that police officers have, and if you check with the Vegas police, you will find that they will have people who are doing this in the community all the time.
The Vegas police might be a source for some more stories, but that.
Even though you can go online, there's just so many stories.
Yeah, there's many stories.
Every day
But-
there's always different.
But I think what you want to do is not, while you can collect many stories, you want to get, if you can get those police officers to become part of your program, that's what will help.
Yeah.
Because police officers have a great deal of credibility.
Right.
And when you go to, whether it's a church or a community center, or you go anywhere, when seniors listen to a police officer, they will believe everything the cop tells them. They listen to us, but not the same way.
Right.
It's that expertise, it's that credentialing, it's that trust in the police officer that they will follow. And so to the extent that you can get retired cops, because there's retired cops who are doing this.
Maybe
And
the
if you could pull them
Sylvester
into the
knows
group,
some people in Las Vegas to network with.
it's very likely that he would.
Because I think that's a great idea to have in the film
Yeah,
too.
knowing-
You had a police officer
The thing is,
talking.
when we have a schedule, we're leaving Wednesday next week. I already have scheduling, I'm making another film, I'm very excited. Do you think a California film would meet with me? I don't think so. Maybe San Francisco would come meet with me, I don't think so. But we're going to meet the director of the Nevada film, then there's another party, a social, with the film community that we cannot miss the following week. Then we just
I think if you
other
get your film
events.
stuff together and then you look for the police officers that would enhance your presentation,
Over
because I think they will add to that.
It's just that I think that for now, we got to register the cybersecurity film festival with
Yeah.
the Nevada Film. Then we're gonna have cybersecurity 48 hours, where people have a team, they compete, but within 48 hours, they film about a particular topic. But this time, it's about cybersecurity and everything. So we just
Well, we'll be eager to hear
I'm
what,
gonna go give you a lot more publicity over in Oakland with the retiree group
Oh,
for the
before I leave,
SEIU, because that's where I
Fran,
have to be, yeah.
I want to mention, SBA, Senior and Disability Act. I've been there, at least 2 or 3 times when they had police officers there. And like one case, I remember they had the round tables there, and they have like, the Ingleside, people live in the Ingleside district, go to this table, the Park side, that, the Ingleside side, that, and so on. And they'd have the not just policeman, but the police captain from that police station at that particular table. And boy, if you want credibility, you got a lot of it right there. I mean,
Oh, yeah, no, and our captains do that a lot. But, and finding, for example, in District 11, where we have the Ingleside and the OMI and a number, and the Excelsior, we have a lot of seniors, and that's, Districts 10 and 11 are where the most active and retired city employees live. So, we get a lot of that. And it goes through the church and the community groups, and we get a lot of information out. But I think what you're doing, Randy, is fantastic.
thank you.
And I think once you get that going there, it's then something that we can say, look, it's from there and we can pull it over
And
here.
someone said to me, you know, Randy, there's someone in Las Vegas, what you're doing is never done before. There's no such thing as cybersecurity film festival anywhere. I don't
No.
know, or video or something. So we're kind of looking forward that we did
I think
that.
this is
Let's
one of the
see how
best
we
things.
can work with the
Thank you.
unions on
Fantastic.
it, the labor council, the labor union, to work together on it.
in Nevada for later, maybe a future trip.
Right.
So I gotta tell Randy a story about how personally he